Kia ora whānau and welcome to our weekly check-in with the New Zealand Warriors from the land of Aotearoa. I hope you're doing well, brothers and sisters, ko mātua, and all the young whippersnappers out there who enjoy a bit of Warriors rugby league action. I just want to roll through some very funky combinations that I am excited to see, and then I've got another little spotlight I want to do at the end on a specific position. But this all started because I was thinking about the combination of having Leka Halasima on one edge and Jacob Laben on the other edge. I think we've had this in games over the last year and a half since they both debuted, but I think it is a very interesting combination to think about moving forward. And we don't even know if Leka Halasima is going to be a starting edge forward for the Warriors this season, let alone if Jacob Laben is going to be a starting edge forward. There's a bit of depth in this position, as there's a bit of depth in every position, because I've just been thinking about this as well. The Warriors have someone with NRL experience as a second tier depth option basically in every position. So in the wing position, we got Alafiana Khan-Pereira. He's already played a fair amount of NRL footy. Centre, I've got Adam Pompey as the best centre because he's always playing pretty solid. So that means we've either got Ali Leotawa or Rocco Berry backing them up, backing Pompey up, and or whoever you choose out of Leotawa and Berry. One of them's going to be outside the top 17, regardless of who it is. They've played plenty of NRL footy before. Behind Luke Metcalf and Chanel Harris-Tavita, we've either got Tamaira Martin or Tana Boyd. Both have plenty of NRL experience. Backup hooker, Samuel Healy. He's played NRL. And the middles, who I don't know if they're going to be top 17 to start the season. I actually had them in my emerging Warriors team on our website, thenichecache.com, which is where you can do a lot of reading about Aotearoa Warriors matters if you can read good. If you want to practice your reading, otherwise you can just have a little listen here, because Tanner Stowers-Smith and Eddie Aramia Toiava are our deep depth middle forward options. Both played NRL footy last year, and like all young Warriors forwards, they both averaged 30 plus minutes per game and were doing their jobs for the NRL team. Of course, Eddie Aramia Toiava can also play edge, so he's a backup edge option who has NRL experience. But the main dude here is that Jacob Laben, I think, is a backup edge forward, and he's already got NRL experience. So just keep that tucked away about the Warriors' depth, because the backup player, obviously fullback, you've got Tain Tuapiki as well, but this is just focusing on players in the specific position, because another key factor about the Warriors right now is they have positional versatility throughout their NRL roster, as well as throughout the depth that we're seeing with the Warriors, because a lot of the players I have mentioned in these videos, like the juniors and some of the players I'll mention in a jiffy, can cover multiple positions. So you can shuffle the positions around to cover positions as well, but just focusing on their best position, their main position. Every position has NRL experience ready to go in case of suspension or injury. Can't believe I forgot the fullback, Tain Tuapiki, but you go Tain Tuapiki, Khan-Pereira, Leotawa, Berry, Martin, Boyd, Healy, Stowers-Smith, Eddie Aramia Toiava, Jacob Laben, all have played NRL footy, and we're going to be starting next season close to a top strength group. A couple of dudes will be coming back from injury. So a lot of these guys are going to be starting the season in New South Wales Cup, which is going to be a very interesting team, considering all the players who have left, but all the NRL experience you still have in that New South Wales Cup group, including Jacob Laben, who is one of my favourite Warriors players, actually. He doesn't seem very ruthless, all right? Like, he seems like a lovely chap coming out of Wellington, Te Aroha and Randwick Jr., another one of these juniors who has played first 15 rugby, both for St Bernard's College in Wellington and Kelston Boys College in Auckland. But Laben has like some ruthlessness to him, and You can watch it when he runs the footy because he's trying to steamroll blokes. You can watch him when he's tackling dudes because he's getting his shoulders in. He's trying to smash dudes without the footy. But of course, we saw Jacob Laben eat punches from Corey Horsburgh with no effect. Like, what more example do you want that Jacob Laben is a sneaky, undercover, ruthless mofo who I think can play a lot of rugby league in the NRL team this year? I don't think it'll be very long before he is a starting edge forward, and he might have to do a bit of middle forward mahi, which we've already seen him do. He has played middle forward for the Warriors in the NRL before, and given the, like, you got your Kurt Capewells, your Marata Niokores, who can play edge forward. Niokore can play a bit of middle. It's going to be interesting to see where Halasima starts, but I hope at some stage over the next 12 months, the next season, we see Halasima and Jacob Laben as the two edge forwards, and if that's happening, then you're probably going to have space on the bench to have Irioromia Toiava there as well, and he can cover edge forwards. So you're going to have your three edge forwards in the mix at some stage this season, and if there is too many injuries, then we can have Caelys Putoko involved, but I'm not sure we're going to actually see too many of these young dudes, your Fatiolofas, your Jason Salalilos, maybe even your Sio Kellys. I'm not sure if we're going to see them debut this season because of that NRL caliber experience that the Warriors do have. Just one thing on that Laben Horsburgh thing. I actually like Corey Horsburgh. I think he's a funky forward, and he's a really good forward. He's pretty tough. He's got some skillful, but he's unpredictable, and he bounces around. I like him as a rugby league player. But punching Jacob Laben and having no effect is one of the most embarrassing things I've seen in rugby league. So shout out to Corey Horsburgh, because you have that honour, and I don't even think like him pulling the fingers or doing some of the goofy stuff he has done is that embarrassing. Like, it's all funny, but you're an NRL, you're a state of origin player playing in reserve grade whenever that was, and you're punching a rookie and you had no effect. Laban's just standing there watching him punch his face with no effect. That's embarrassing for Corey Horsburgh, but it's part of this picture that we have about Jacob Laben. You watch him play rugby league, he is comfortable with the physicality. He's a massive body, he's a good mover, and he can get down with all the nitty-gritty that we see at the NRL level. So I'm very interested to see how Jacob Laben performs this season, what opportunities he gets, and maybe we will see the Halasima-Laben combo. If we do have that combo as the edge forwards in the NRL, I am hoping at some stage next season, this year, we get the combination of Caelys Putoko and Bishop Neal as the edge forwards in New South Wales Cup. Again, I'm not convinced that we're going to see Putoko debut in the NRL this season, just because there's too much NRL caliber experience, and for Putoko to debut, Halasima, Laben and Irioromia Toiava will need to be unavailable. I don't think that's realistic, but we'll wait and see. And Bishop Neal, he is under 19 eligible, so we'll wait and see if he is going to play SG ball, but he could go straight into the under 21 team, and then we'll need to wait and see if he is if he's demanding selection at the New South Wales Cup level. So all these combinations, a few things, the stars need to align in Matariki fashion for us to get these combinations. But I really want to see Putoko on one edge and Bishop Neal on the other edge. Who cares what side of the field they're on? Like, that's just stuff that the coaches figure out, right? But Putoko and Neal is a very, very interesting edge forward combination, almost as exciting as Halasima and Laben. Also in the New South Wales Cup tier, as far as combinations go, I am loving the Makia Tafua Jacob Auloa combination as hooker, but also small forward. I'm always talking about the small forward position because, like the outside backs who can play multiple positions, like the passing, like a lot of skills and themes that we're seeing throughout the Warriors pipeline, small forward is a massive theme. which I'll touch on in a jiffy as well, Tafua and Auloa can play hooker as well as playing small forward, because we saw them play on the field together in the under-21s team last year, and we've seen them on the field together in New South Wales Cup. That means one of them's playing hooker, one of them's playing small forward. They can both do either role equally as well, which means they've got a little bit of craft in dummy half, but ultimately they're both ruthless mofos. Catch a theme there. We got a lot of ruthless mofos in the Warriors system who will be smashing dudes tackling. Like Makai Tafu is a nuggety dude, our Loa's nuggety. They want to get their shoulders into tackles. They are tackling bigger blokes all the time. They've had another summer training period with the Warriors NRL group, and I think at some stage we're going to see Sam Healy in the NRL team, which means we're going to have Tafua and Auloa together in the New South Wales Cup team, and that means one of them is playing hooker, one of them is playing small forward, and they might be alternating. Tafua might even be playing small forward with Healy at hooker. But as two local juniors, all of these dudes are local juniors. While we're here, Halasima's from Auckland, Laban's from Wellington, Fatialofa's from Auckland, Neil's from Christchurch, Tafua's from Christchurch, Auloa's from Auckland. I think we might see Tafua playing more as a small forward with Healy at dummy half in New South Wales Cup, because Healy can play big minutes, and then you can have Tafua stepping in. Healy takes a break, Tafua goes to dummy half. A lot of easy player rotations there, but ultimately I want to see Tafua and Auloa playing together in the New South Wales Cup team. Similar style, but without the dummy half coverage. We have Lennox Tuiloma and Paia Sikovea. Tuiloma, he's from Christchurch, so here we're highlighting all the Christchurch talent coming through the Warriors system. And Sikovea was one of the sneakier rises through the 2025 season. Started in Jersey Flegg Cup, but also started in SG Ball Cup under 19s, then went into Jersey Flegg Cup, handled that with ease. I expect Sikovea especially to be playing New South Wales Cup at some stage next season. I also think that Tuiloma has potential to step up to New South Wales Cup. We just got to wait and see where he is at with his recovery from injury, and I expect him to be playing under 21s early in the season. But don't forget, the Warriors are back-to-back under 17 Harold Matthews Cup champions. 2024 player of the grand final, MVP, Big Donny, was Lennox Tuiloma, Linwood Jr. from Christchurch. 2025 MVP player of the match, Big Donny, was Bishop Neal, Hornby Jr. from Christchurch. The two best players in back-to-back grand final wins for the Warriors in Harold Matthews Cup are both from Christchurch. And that shows you the caliber that we're looking at here with Lennox Tuiloma. We haven't seen him play rugby league for a year, but he's fast, he's mobile, and obviously him and Sikovea, they can handle the physicality at their respective age brackets. So I'm curious how that looks moving forward. Sikovea has played edge forward. I think we've primarily seen Tuiloma just play through the middle. So I don't know what kind of combination we'll be looking at there, but you could have both of them in the middle. That is a fast, dynamic, physical, ruthless middle forward duo with a little bit of versatility. And this is very important because we're seeing the Warriors, a lot of their NRL forwards, middle forwards, have also been edge forwards. And throughout the Warriors system, you're seeing the guys who stand out are faster, more mobile, skillful, without losing any of their power, physicality that you need to be a consistent New South Wales Cup player, let alone in the NRL, like Tanisdale Smith, Eddie Adamir Toeava, Jason Salalilo, all have that mobility, all have the high work rate, all get around the park very well, and they can handle the physicality. So at every Warriors level, yes, you've got some big poppers that we might need to learn about over the next few months as the squads are announced, but the mobile, smaller forwards are a blatant obvious theme that we're seeing at the Warriors under Andrew McFadden, and obviously you've got Aaron Clark at the NRL level as well. One other dude who fits this profile is Albert Belchin, who is from Auckland. He was at St. Paul's College this year, while also being part of the Bulldog system. So a lot of these dudes from Aotearoa, they might stay at school in New Zealand, but they can go over to Australia, play the under-17 competition. They can play the under-19 competition early in the year, come back to Aotearoa, finish their schooling, be with their whānau and their friends before making a full-time move to Australia. Or in the case of Albert Belchin, staying in Auckland, but moving to the Warriors. He's a smaller forward, and I'm going to be curious to see where he starts next season, probably at the SG Ball level. But another funky combination to watch out for is Albert Belchin and Gordon Afoa. Gordon Afoa is another one of these undercover sneaky Warriors juniors who he played the 2024 under-17 championship team, and then last year he played under-19s and under-21s as a middle forward while still being at school. So he played under-21s as a 17-year-old. He's a bigger forward. He's more of your prototypical middle forward, quite similar, I think, to Jason Salalilo. But maybe we'll see Afoa and Belchin together in probably the under-21 team, but maybe the under-19 team. And it'll be very interesting to track them because they were both part of the St. Paul's College Rugby League team. They both made the New Zealand National Secondary Schools team, which flows into the fullback position because Kelston Boys had Jeremiah Lemana, and he made the New Zealand Secondary Schools team as fullback, whereas Belchin and Afoa were middle forwards in the tournament team. And this throws into a very funky fullback situation where the Warriors have 3 fullbacks who all have fabulous pedigree. Like, the indicators of their talent are tremendous. I've got Caelys Putoko from Tokoroa as a fullback. I think there's a chance he could be the New South Wales Cup fullback, but he can play centre, he can play wing, he can play number 6. So keep in mind, Putoko has a lot of versatility with where he can play. He was I think he might have had 2 years with the New Zealand Schools Rugby Union team. He definitely had 1 year. He played alongside Tavita Nofa, who has now played NRL for the Dolphins, and he was so good while playing rugby union. He also played rugby league while at Hamilton Boys High School in Tokoroa for Forestland, but the Titans recruited him. So the Titans liked his talent, and the Warriors liked his talent after a stint with the Titans. That's where he came back into the under-21s team, made his debut for the New South Wales Cup at centre. So last year, Putoko played under-21s, New South Wales Cup, and International Rugby League for the Cook Islands. Fantastic year for him. I think he could be, I think he's going to play fullback for the New South Wales Cup team either throughout the season or at some stage. Below Putoko, you got Joseph Ratcliffe. Joseph Ratcliffe was the starting fullback in the 2024 Harold Matthews Cup Championship team coming out of Palmerston North, and last year he progressed to under-19s as well as under-21s. Then we've got Lemana, who was the starting fullback in the 2025 Harold Matthews Cup Championship. And interestingly, Lemana is the dude who is part of the NRL squad training, and I haven't seen Ratcliffe in photos or mentioned by the Warriors as part of that NRL summer group. There are a lot of younger players who are getting that opportunity, so I don't want to read too much into it, because some guys, the Warriors might just want to focus on under-21s. Then you can step up. Whereas someone like Lemana, the Warriors might be wanting to give him a taste of the higher levels. Then you can go back down and do your thing. Just because you're training with the NRL squad, like, obviously that is an important indicator of talent, but it doesn't mean Lemana's playing NRL next year. It doesn't mean Lemana's playing New South Wales Cup next year. It just means he's getting that experience So you might see Lemana as part of the summer training group and think, oh, damn, that dude's locked in to be the New South Wales Cup fullback as an 18-year-old maybe. I don't think that's going to be the case, but it's obviously a indication of his talent. But another indication of talent is how Ratcliffe was playing under 21s while still eligible for under 19s. He earned a promotion. He commanded a promotion up the levels, and he was playing fullback in the under 21s team ahead of Caelys Putoko, because Putoko was playing a lot of centre. All of which is to say, I'm not convinced that Lemana has just leapfrogged Joseph Ratcliffe right now. We'll have to wait and see how the season progresses, but I do want to keep highlighting that Joseph Ratcliffe has had a lot of success in the Warriors system. He's got high pedigree indicators of what he's capable of, and the Warriors, they must have liked something because they put him up to under 21s as an under 19 SG ball player. Ultimately, Ratcliffe and Lemana were the starting fullbacks in both Harold Matthews Cup grand finals. So we got two really good fullbacks right there in the Warriors system. I think Ratcliffe can be the under 21s fullback. I think he can start the year as the under 21s fullback, and maybe Lemana starts the year as the under 19 fullback, and then they have that pathway to progress higher up. Some of that will depend on where Putoko is playing and how he is playing. But I think right there you got three excellent fullbacks to watch out for in the Warriors system. And obviously above them you got Taine Tuapiki. I keep forgetting about Taine Tuapiki, but you go Nickel Clockstar, Taine Tuapiki, you got Putoko, Ratcliffe and Lemana. Geronimo Doyle might play a bit of fullback, but he's a servant to the Warriors. He's earning money playing rugby league. He doesn't necessarily have NRL potential, NRL upside, and that's all good. Who wouldn't want to be earning money playing for the Warriors? The Warriors are the coolest sports team in New Zealand. So if you're a rugby league player, playing for the Warriors in New South Wales Cup is a fantastic achievement. We need players like Geronimo Doyle in the system. But as far as potential, upside, and just pure funky talents, Taine Tuapiki, Putoko, Ratcliffe, Lemana, those are the dudes you want to focus on. And I keep thinking about the Jack Thompson, Jai Linane combination as well. I'll keep this short because we have a lot of talent in the halves. I am open to Jack Thompson and Jai Linane. Like, they're not better right now than Tana Boyd. They're not better than Luke Hansen or Jet Cleary because those guys are at a higher level right now. But the indicators of talent. Jack Thompson, Harold Matthews Cup champion. Jack Thompson was playing under 21s while still under 19 eligible. So that tells you about his talent as a halfback. That's a really key position, and he has done things early in his career that maybe Jet Cleary hasn't done. Maybe Luke Hansen hasn't done those things just yet. So I don't know if Luke Hansen was playing under 21s while still being... Yeah, I think he might have actually, while at the Panthers. But Jack Thompson has had a fantastic career in like 18 months with the Warriors. But then you go Jai Linane. Jai Linane, I think the Warriors' announcement of his signing said he was playing under 21s as a 17-year-old. That's the same thing I was talking about Gordon Afoa, but Jai Linane is a half, which is crazy. And then he was on the fringe of the Knights NRL group as an 18-year-old. So we got two halves who are 18, 19, 20 years old right now in the Warriors system who have been outperforming their age. They've been playing up age groups. They've been demanding attention up age groups, and we've got both of them. Both of them are from Newcastle, so who cares about your local nurseries? Who cares about your local catchment areas? Because the Warriors have two excellent halves from the Newcastle region in their system, and all indicators suggest that those two are highly talented halves. But we've also got Harry Inch, and we can't forget about Harry Inch because his indicators of talent are sensational as well. but in a different sport. As far as rugby union goes, he's a New Zealand schoolboys rep. He's played Premier Rugby, I think, in Christchurch, being part of high performance rugby union setups. And those are the dudes competing for under 21 starting halves roles. Again, these indicators of talent are sensational, and I think we should be open-minded about how talented, how capable Jack Thompson and Jai Linane are, as well as Harry Inch, which is all a bit crazy. As I talk about it, I realize how crazy this stuff is and how excited I am for Rugby League in 2026. So big up to you. Make sure you're doing your best. Kia kaha, kawabanga, talo falava, chirchiri. So